sport.
I love sport.
Clearly.
Sport
What a
is my
universal last name. It's like, it's better than Smith.
It's just kind of fun.
It's hilarious. Okay, so Hunter is on a different page than me, but I thought we were done with the notes.
Senior prank.
I mean, I guess
Are we ever done with the notes?
I'll look at them. I probably did them.
The hardest part of this chapter is literally the vocab. Once you have the vocab down, the concepts, there's really no math. It's just arguing your way of how can we make this blind, how can we make this double blind, that kind of thing. So we already finished that.
We did. I have
So,
other things on
I'm
there.
trying to, instead of making a test Tuesday, because that would be ugly, because I hadn't said anything like that. So instead of that, we're going to do some multiple choice today. Frappy's tomorrow, test Wednesday. So at least you do have the 2 days notice. That would be nice. I gave you some multiple choice problems last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever we started this, that you're more than welcome to look at any time, and you already have the answers to. And if we have time, we're going to look at those as well. However, there are some new ones today from a different source than usual. And there are 10 of them. We'll probably make it due Friday. That's a good question. And, I meant to give you strips so you can have points. So we'll say the homework's due Friday because words haven't come out lately. I'm out of strips. Be smart and just keep up. Okay, you can have one for that, ma'am. That was a good question. Okay, so we literally are just going to work through these 10. But I want to make life a little fun. So, in that third go round, there is an erase board, which we've used before. Third go round has an erase board, which we've used before. You and your group confer about the answer. Hold up your answer with the erase board, and then we'll discuss it. First group to hold up the correct answer for each one will get a point.
Guys, what do you want to use? Do you want to use green,
Black.
black, or purple?
I vote red.
So literally, we're just going to start at number 1 and work our way through.
Learn your names. Just for funsies, I'm going to keep on with like green. Just for funsies. Are we answering now?
Yeah, we'll say whenever you get ready to go. Maybe that's part of the advantage is that your group got started fastest. I don't know.
Wait, what?
Number one.
Number 1.
Dang it.
Okay.
Put your answer thing down. You're correct.
Yay, point.
A is in alpha.
Plus one.
B is in omega.
You get this one.
Okay, so they had it first. So wait a second before you read the next one. Let's go ahead and discuss this one. What keywords, and we'll give another free point for this. What keywords let you know that it was an observational study?
Watches.
Watches was the key. Table 1 can have a point. There was no, and Sally can have a point too. There was no treatment given, so how are we going to make this an experiment? And besides observational study and experiment, I don't really know what else would fit. Okay, so go ahead and read number 2. When you make up your mind, hold up your board. You can have your point, ma'am.
E. Yogurt.
Yes, Y is the new answer choice in life. Have you not heard? It's the new C.
Wait. Oh, man.
Dang it.
Senior prank.
Senior prank, it disappeared.
Yes, Sally, yes. Okay, can someone explain why the answer is what it is and get an extra point on number 2?
Because different detergents are differently affected by water temperature.
So what was the issue?
Water temperature.
Yeah, they're not the
Affects
same.
many variables.
They should have done, they did, so if we were to fix it, the issue was with the warm water and the cold water. So if we were to fix it, we would do both warm, both cold, so changing the temp was a problem. And
Was
one,
not saying that warm and cold water don't make a difference?
they're saying it does. I mean, I'm saying that's a lurking variable, that you should have kept the water temperature consistent. Yeah, you could say these were more faded because they were washed in a different temperature.
That's not reliable because you don't know whether or not the temperature played into it.
Yes, so it would probably be even better to do some sort of like a blocking and do shirts in cold, shirts in warm, shirts in hot with the two different detergents. That way you can never argue it was the water. I don't know, just a thought. Okay, that was good. 1 and 2 can have an extra point. Somehow I'll figure out how to make the points more useful for today's grade. Number 3, whenever you are ready. I'm not gonna lie, out of the 10 questions, this one's the one that I find most annoying.
I find it most annoying. Actually,
Yeah, I'm just gonna. No.
really?
No, but if it was, it's the same thing Sally said.
I'm gonna say, darn it.
Dang nabbit. Yeah.
I don't know.
Who didn't get it?
I was just too afraid to say something. I
Plus,
don't
come
know.
on. Just do it. You're Luis. You're never wrong.
That would have been
This
the
is
next
not
time.
correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Use another way.
You're the only one. Well, they both. So let's talk about it. Now I've seen everyone's answer. The one I wanted to guess originally was be with you. Because I was like, oh, simple random sample, each athlete equally likely to be chosen. But this is not a simple random sample, is it?
Stratified, isn't it?
It's a stratified, isn't it? How do we know it's stratified?
Because you're choosing groups from the whole of the groups.
3 athletes from each school. So, and yeah, so it's, we would want everyone to have the same likelihood of being selected. And since right now they don't, it ends up being D. But I put a question mark by it because I, like you, I'm not really fond of the wording in this one. There's also something else that someone brought up. We actually looked at these at a conference the other day. And there's something else in the wording that someone else brought up that I'm surprised you haven't harped on. Something that I feel like they should address. Why is this not a good experiment to begin with?
Because that's not an accurate representation of the whole school. Because just because 3 people don't have steroids or do have steroids doesn't mean they all do or don't.
That is true.
What if they got a steroid shot?
This is completely true, but there was a word in the very first sentence that someone harped on the other day. No, actually, it was state. So they said state, but then they said they're only dealing with Fort Worth, and they're simply only talking about, like, somehow from Fort Worth, they're going to predict the entire state of Texas. So how is that a good, I mean, Fort Worth seems like a very busy area. How is that'd be like trying to make Birmingham represent Alabaster? We're not the same scale.
That was happening. I thought
And-
you were representing the city.
So I thought so too, but someone else pointed out it said state,
I mean, yeah, but like, it could still be a state agency, but it's just representing.
just the one city.
Yeah.
Well, no, the person at the thing argued maybe state trying to make an opinion about the entire state only using the one city. So that was their issue with that word. But no, it was literally, you're too deep on that. It's really, was it a simple random sample? No, technically it is not, because not all possible groups of 60 athletes could be in the sample. So it really is D. It doesn't meet the true definition of a simple random sample where everyone has an equally likely chance to be chosen. Okay, let's go to 4. 4 I'm not mad at. 4 is nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Hunter may have gotten his group the point for the answer, but you can still, yes, that's right. You can still get points in the second by explaining why it's not the others. Ma'am.
Do you want me to explain each one?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, now I do. Okay, so what's wrong with A?
Well, it's this, it's just his office emailing a long, detailed survey. Not a lot of people are gonna wanna respond to that.
So we've got,
It's only the people who care.
okay, so it's got that non-response bias. Or that voluntary response. There's going to be non-response because we're not reaching everyone because it's specifically through his office. And then we also have some voluntary response because only those who feel passionately about the issue are going to reply. Non-response, voluntary response.
Wouldn't be underrepresentation. if
Bias.
it's anyone.
Yes, also I have that under coverage written as well.
Or, yeah,
Also, there could be.
Same
leading
difference. They're going to
questions.
give you that. We don't know the questions, so the questions could be misleading. You're right, we weren't actually given the details, so.
There's also under coverage for the second one, because not everyone is in the directory.
This is true. I don't know about you. Well, my parents still have a home phone. Me and my husband do not. We have our cell phones only. So that's a thing that's going out in the past. It's an old thing. So we liked C. Everyone agreed with that. Why are we mad at D?
Because that's a voluntary response thing.
We've got the voluntary response issue again.
And they have to call them themselves.
And then,
Miss Compton?
yes ma'am.
Have you got a Louis Garcia?
Yes ma'am.
Can you please send him to Miss Roach's office?
Yes ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wild.
Go ahead, Lewis.
Bye, Lewis.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
What about E? What's wrong with E?
Well, they're gonna want to tell their teacher that they're drinking alcohol.
And also high school.
What is that called? It's back to that survey I told you the other day about Dr. Hester taking a survey among ninth graders
Yeah,
that they
I
want to take the
forgot
ACT,
what
and
it's
they all said they all lied. When they lie, what is that called? Like, I'm gonna lie because I want to impress the person near me.
Heck, I forgot what it was.
I don't know what it's called.
It's literally just called response bias.
Okay.
Don't overthink it. It's just response bias, and you know they're not going to be truthful. Not truthful. Okay, you're ahead of the game, and you already know you're right, so yes. Okay, before we go crazy, here, Sally, you can have your free point. On C, the sample that was taken, what kind of sample was it?
Let's see.
Uh-huh.
That's a random. Hold on. Simple random sample.
Yes, it was an SRS, and you can have a point for that. See there? Hunter's not going to steal all the points today. Hunter's group sadly already knows the answer to number 5. I would love to know the other two people's answers. I'm praying we can all read one of these by now. Where's Shalia to cry about it? I don't know. She does not like these.
How do you know if you're going in 2s or 3s?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't get that.
How many people were you wanting?
Oh, because it's 525.
Oh my God.
Okay, so that means they can use
Absolutely, 100%.
it. Oh, okay.
In fact, you can have a point for that, ma'am. That was smart. Yes.
Maybe.
You don't really know. You probably want to talk to Samantha before you start holding up boards guessing on that one. Yes, dear. Okay, before Hunter goes crazy and tries to do number 6, if you can explain in English, there's 2 things I'm looking for to explain how to read this table. Yes, the answer is D.
You have to count the
Yeah,
500
D.
since it's 525.
Okay, use 3 digits.
And then you take out all the ones that are bigger than 525.
Ignore numbers over 525. And then if I had to add one more thing, which actually didn't occur this time, but we need to always be wary of, it would be
Repeats.
ignore repeats. Sally, you can get a point. He doesn't need any more points. He's still trying to guess number 6 ahead of y'all, so
We already have
That's what he
points
gets.
too, so.
well. It's like, whose line is it anyway? Points don't really matter. I end up just boosting your grade with the participation grade. I mean, it does, like, I will, if you have 1,000, I'll give you 1,000 and then 1,001 or whatever it is. I will do it, but it's going to raise your grade by maybe a point.
As long as it raises. Okay.
Yeah, shouldn't lower. If lowers, concern. It would only lower if you had over 100 average.
Sure.
Okay, I'm waiting on number 6. I know that group still. Oh, you were beat. She already got it. Cool. Next.
Yikes. You got God.
You can explain why it is. Oh, yes, but you're too little too late. Is it? Okay, so I'm glad Hunter is blonde like me, because when I originally read this, I wanted to go with C, but the correct answer is D. Why is the answer D and not C?
I'll let someone else explain.
Is it because there's only one flag? So technically it's only one block.
Yeah, so technically we block by gender to put men and women, but then within the men and women there was still drug placebo.
But initially it was just like 2 blocks.
Yes. I don't know why I was trying to make it block by a drug. Technically, you were either in the men group or the women group, and then randomly assigned the drug. So I don't know how I thought randomly assigning the drug was a block. I don't know what I was thinking. Apparently, I was with Hunter that day. Okay, number 7. Yes, ma'am. She got her point. Oh, my goodness. What are you going to
You
do?
are slacking.
Because I was told to consult with my group rather than writing answers down.
Yes.
We did. We
We got 2. 2 of them.
Well, I mean, I had the right answer. I saw both boards.
Why are you being such a little cheater?
I can't not see it if I'm
It's
facing
called
it.
being double blind.
Not seeing both of the answers.
Oh, God. So we will. So Sally got the first point, but we will let Hunter redeem himself. Maybe he'll explain why it is A.
Because we're separating them into 4 different groups and further separating the 4 different groups into smaller groups of 50 to enter to talk to me.
So we selected our sample selected. Selected. I can't spell selected. Sample selected from groups. Okay, I knew you knew it wasn't convenience or observational. Simple random sample was everyone has an equal chance. Systematic is one we haven't really hit on that much. Does anyone know what systematic is so they could get them a point? It is a certain way to do things. It's a step up from a convenience.
So is that what you're asking? Or yes.
Yeah, I'm asking if anyone knows what that is. Okay, cool. I can explain that. So it's a step up from convenience, and like maybe we systematically ask every 12th person that walks by.
Yeah.
So we're not quite just the first 10. We have a set system, the 12th person through the door every time. Or like if we have a list, every 10, we're always picking the 10th
It's
on the
still not
list.
like more accurate though. It's
Yes.
just a different way of doing it.
It's a different way of doing it. It's better than convenience.
Not
Not
by a
quite
lot,
simple. Well, a little. But yeah, it's not as good as I think as simple or stratified. Okay, number 8. He probably already has it
This one is
answered.
confusing.
No.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to think at first, but no.
No. There are only 5 choices. No, ma'am. No.
That's not it? This one doesn't make any sense to me.
Woo. Yeah, but I mean, like, how many options did you guess when we got here?
2.
This one doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, let's look at 8 together, and Miss Compton will award herself a point for this one. I will award myself a point for this one. So there are, let's talk it through, the types of coffee beans. There are 2 types of coffee beans. There are 3 types of syrup. And there are 2 types of milk. So there was 2 beans, 3 syrups, 2 types of milk. That adds up to 7. So there were 3 factors. There are 3 factors. The factors being coffee,
Oh, I see.
And,
syrup,
And milk.
and milk.
Okay, that makes
So there are 3 factors. But when we figure out all the different types of factors, there are really 7 levels.
and then you can find out the variations by multiplying the different things.
Yes, so you end up doing 2 times 3 times 2, which gives you 12. So the answer is E. Again, there are 3 factors, coffee, syrup, and milk. So I know why it's not A and not B. There are 7 levels because of the different types of beans, the 3 different types of syrup, the 2 different types of milk, and that adds up to 7. So it was either C or E. And then 420, I don't know. I'm trying to make life way too hard. They're just saying how many different options are there. And if you'll just multiply, you'll always get the right answer. Oh, that is why. Oh, well, but everyone can't have their own personalized coffee. This is, oh, that is why. That is perfect. Thank you. You got a point for that. This is not Starbucks. Everyone cannot have their own random type of coffee. Some people are going to have repeats. So it's just how many different combos are there. So there were 12 combinations, which we're going to call the treatments. Okay, don't break my heart. I'll give you number 8. And we hadn't really gone through that kind of thing. Number 9, don't break my heart. Yes, you are now redeemed.
Yeah, I mean, my first instinct is like that, but
What's your second instinct?
hold on. I was about to sneeze. I'm scared I'm putting the wrong thing. Okay.
What's something we would always want to reduce? So let's talk about number 9. If you block groups together, like put subjects that are similar together, you reduce variability, and that's kind of our main goal in life. The reason you want to reduce the variability is there could be outside confounding variables, but if you read the sentence, the primary reason for using blocking when designing an experiment is to reduce confounding. If they said confounding variables, then maybe I would be conflicted as to which choice, but the sentence doesn't make sense with the word confounding. So it couldn't be that one. It reduces to reduce bias. I could see it, but again, our goal is to have minimal variation. So we're hoping if we've gotten to the part where we're blocking, that means we've gotten to the part where we're doing an experiment, which means we've already selected our sample, which means I pray we've already handled the bias issue by this point. So that's why I don't think it's that one. I don't know where sensitivity of the experiment came from, and then the need for randomization. Again, we're hoping we kind of handle that with how we set up the sample. I don't know. That one I'll give you. It's back to those that are just tricky. Number 10 is the last one. I think it is the nice. It is the nice. Terrific. It is the nice. There is a 10 on the back.
Oh god, it's a 1, 2, 3.
I think.
And how you love those, but it's actually not that bad.
I think I have it. No. Okay. Well,
You can have the point. I know how you love the 1, 2, 3 ones.
Like in any subjects, they're actually the worst.
These make my life so much more difficult than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Like, just give me a right and a wrong answer.
I mean,
maybe this is right.
It's like the last chapter with the correlation coefficient and how they didn't consider whether or not it could be positive or negative. Like, there was one like that. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Pain in the rear.
Alex is sick. I thought he was one of those people who's like immune to everything. So is Jackson.
Yes.
So is Jackson.
Yes.
Eh?
He emailed me. His girlfriend and I was emailed by him too.
Yeah.
Interesting. No.
I put that at first too.
Yes. It's amazing how those letters look so similar sometimes. Okay, so let's talk about the three things. Why is one not true?
Because it
it's
only-
just the
Side of the ones that weren't gonna go there.
Yeah, it said specifically that it was minority. I mean, minor students who attended the visit weekend but did not choose to attend this college. Like, I'm going to draw that line down. It's those kids. Minority. Blah, blah, blah. Minority students who attended the weekend but did not choose to attend this college. So we knew it wasn't one. So A's out, C's out, E's out. You were guessing B or D. Your gut said, can't be B. Has to be at least two of them are true. I don't know. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, I don't know why I initially put D because it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so we all agree the survey design suffered from non-response bias. Well, yeah, people who didn't have a strong opinion didn't respond. And then 3 goes back to us and just basics of statistics. We talked about this in chapter 1. But it's good to bring it back up again. Okay, so if we could guess about the population as a whole, our percentage would be a parameter. But we don't. We use a sample. And that's a statistic. And seriously, I think of P's go together, S's go together. So, parameter, no, that would be a statistic because it's a sample.
Plus it said
So it's
that a
not
third
bad.
of them returned the survey, and 48 of those indicated that.
Yes, and that was another thing. Yes, Sally. Yes.
48% of the
Of the third.
3%.
Yeah, so that's another issue. Okay, I'm happy with this. Am I crazy? Did I not give y'all a bunch of multiple choice questions at the beginning of this whole chapter?
You know,
Like
I
a giant
feel like-
packet? I think so.
I think you probably did.
I feel like I did. I feel like we could bring those out now, because you don't want to do a crappy today. Even though the crappies are nice for this chapter. You don't want to do a crappy
This
today.
chapter is rather
Graphics are cool.
pleasant.
Now that you have the vocab, which you were mad about.
Yeah.
But now that you have the vocab, this chapter is really nice, and it will be super useful for later chapters. Like, chapter 3 doesn't end up being useful again until chapter 12, but like, this chapter is useful from here on out. Okay, but you have some multiple questions, or do I need to go make some?
I believe you gave them to
Maybe
us.
somewhere in my binder. Who really knows? Honestly.
Okay, start off with like this.
Chapter 5, multiple choice.
Can you zoom out a little?
Right? Or chapter 4, multiple choice.
Yeah, I tried to change it to a 4, and then I stopped. I got
Oh, that
lazy
was
and stopped
familiar.
writing it out.
The best
Like
4
weeks
looks
ago.
familiar.
Yes. Got the messed up 4, and then I forgot to change it from there on out.
This thing.
Thank you, man.
This one, I think, right?
Yes. So I know you've spent so long on them. I mean, you definitely know all the answers. So we could just go through some of these. Oh. You do have all the answers. Although we could say you're not going to cheat, right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll read them and figure it out
Oh my gosh, how did all this get on?
completely.
Bless you. And we'll do the exact same way we were doing before. fastest person gets a point.
Oh, I hate that, because I'm slow in general.
No, you were very good.
I found
He
it.
just guessed it. He guessed 3 different letters one time. Yeah, like,
How do you think I have such a
just
good
go down
score on the
A,
ACT?
no, B, no, C, yes.
Well, how would that be a good indicator of your ACT score? Because you got him wrong.
Most of my right answers come by process of elimination of the slightest
That's why
thing
he's
being
mad,
wrong.
is because I told him to discuss with his group, because he writes the answer, holds it up, and doesn't even ask Samantha, like, hey Samantha, is this an okay answer with you? Oh well.
I mean, at the beginning they were, but.
Then at the end, they trailed off. In fact, I know you have the answers. So maybe I should acknowledge that. Should I acknowledge the fact that you already own the answers and you just explain to me why it is the answer that it is?
That would be.
Would that be better?
Yeah.
That probably would be better. Yeah. Because I really, no offense, I just don't trust Hunter, to be completely honest. Because he's like me and he likes to win. So it is what it
Who's
is.
the real winner here? That's
So
The one with the most points?
I don't know.
Duh.
Obviously, that was super important, let me tell you. Number 1, the answer is supposed to be A. Can someone explain to me why the answer is
I haven't
A?
read it yet. Calm
Oh.
down. I don't know why I'm telling you to calm down.
I don't know.
I do that all the time. Okay, wait, why would that be A though? Because I would think it would just be the people
Ooh,
going to the
ooh.
game, not all residents.
Ooh, I can go for this. Because the key word is, and the question is, the intended population. And in the STEM it says how strongly Lafayette residents.
Yeah, so the very first sentence says that the sports writer wanted to know Lafayette residents, not specifically just sports fans. Although I'm completely with Sally, if you didn't want just sports fans, why did you just go to the sports stadium?
Yeah.
So technically, this was terrible sampling. So this is convenient sample, so we already knew it was bad. Okay, the actual sample for the survey is yes. 2 is not
It's
C.
a D.
Well, you have the answers, but why is it D?
It's because the sample that she chose were the first 20 people that entered the stadium as stated in STEM.
Okay, as long as we're reading, I'm good to go with that. You can have your little point.
Yeet.
Okay, number 3, the answer is supposed to be D. Why?
Aw.
Because she's just interviewing literally the first 20 people, and not like there's no system to it.
Agreed. And then, but why? What makes D better than E? They both say convenient sample.
Oh, because
Because the
it's
only
only the people who are actually eager about even going to the game who are responding.
So that's why it's going to be an overestimate. Whereas if we went to, I don't know, the bowling alley at the same time, they're going to give us a completely different
Or
response.
like McDonald's or something. They would not be enthusiastic
I-
about it at all.
Let's go to like a concert or something else at the same time
Yeah.
with artsy people who don't care about the
Yeah,
sports.
there you
Let's
go.
do that. Yes. Okay, 4 through 6 require different paragraphs. So this is the good news about the old ones, or the actual former AP questions, is that you read one paragraph and then answer a couple questions. It's not that much reading.
It doesn't seem terrible.
It's not.
But you gotta give me a minute to read it.
Hmm. Do y'all need this? Does she not have it?
I don't think that's the case, but I don't know.
The first page. I don't remember what day that was. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I know you don't need a whole thing. There's a whole.
Can we talk about it?
Yes, please. Tell me one.
Because it's like in the first question, how, the intended population, it says in the first sentence that you want to know the opinions of American school teachers, so it's American school teachers.
Love it. And you get another point. And then number 5, still the same sort of setup. Sampling frame is Sampling frame is a little different than sample.
I'm guessing it's the, I haven't looked at it, but it says
I'm pretty sure it is.
you mailed it to, yeah.
You mailed it
Oh, wait, it
to
says C.
2,500.
Yeah, 5 is C.
Okay.
Oh, wait, because the 2,500, that's the entire members list.
Yes, so, but specifically you had to be in the NEA in order to be considered part of the sample.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, only the 2,500 whom you mailed the questionnaire would be the sample.
Yeah.
You just
And
answered
the
the next.
response was only from the 1,347.
Yes, so that's why 6 is technically A instead of why would I always want it with B. Yes. Agreed. 6 is A because those are the ones who actually responded. Okay, and then 7, there is no 7. Oh.
One.
It's
one.
warm up number 2. Warm up 2.
Wait, what?
Warm up. It says warm ups at the top. Like,
There's warm up number 3 on mine.
I mean, that says 3 as well.
Yeah.
What happened to 2? Did 2 go in? Is it on the back side?
Well,
That is the back
yeah, next
side.
is 2.
Okay, let's do 2 because I can read today.
Oh, are you talking about the practice number 2?
I want to do warm up to number 1.
It says multiple choice practice number 2.
Okay.
Okay, well, I have no idea. We're just gonna do this one on the screen here. Something about Beckhoff or something.
Is that a name? That's an awful name.
It is.
Beckhoff.
Let's see. Clearly, these all sound
Sounds like you're clearing
German.
your throat.
Yeah.
That's how German sounds in general.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounded terrible, and that was on YouTube. Oh gosh. I'm so sorry to any Germans out there. I took 2 years in high school.
Only a portion, and a very small one at that.
Wait, you know some German?
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
What's it mean?
Do you
speak
speak
German?
German?
Half, you can decipher half, most
Okay,
German
what was
words.
it? Guten Nacht?
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. My favorite German word,
Sean, thank you.
that is not German.
Oh wait, what is that?
It's not German.
What did she say?
Like Dankeschön or whatever.
Dr. Sean?
Dankeschön. Is that French? I don't know.
No.
I don't know my languages.
It's like, I thought it was German. What is it?
I don't know.
I don't even know what a Dr. Sean is.
Dr. Sean!
I only know like Autobahn and Geschirrspülmaschine. That was my favorite word of all time. Geschirrspülmaschine.
What's that?
Dishwasher.
That's
Because Geschirr meant wash and Spülmaschine. So it's like wash, dishes, machine. Geschirrspülmaschine. How did I get off track? Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know. Oh, it's a
Wait,
random.
why is it word like that? We wish to choose a single rectangle of size 3 from the. What?
Yes. I'm just
Okay,
gonna,
it's fine, whatever.
just,
There are
just,
things upon this
Yes.
Oh, that one's easy.
yes,
The simple-
maybe.
What?
I don't know, I skim a lot.
There is a repeat.
I'm so confused.
Do
What?
anything.
Why is it worded like that?
How many digits long do you need?
What?
Yeah, but my God.
Oh, I already put the board up.
That's fine.
I'm confused.
They want 3 out of how many? How many options were there?
9.
So it was single digit stuff. So my first 3 numbers were 1179, but I had 1 twice, so I don't count the second one. So it's 179, 1, Beckhofer, 7, Taylor, 9, Weiss. So it's got to be Beckhofer, Taylor, Weiss, C.
pretty sure it's not A.
Yeah, definitely not A.
117.
I really like B. I like that we chose them twice because that's allowed.
Says it again.
So, anyway,
To be fair, it doesn't say you can't.
well, I guess it was implied.
Yeah.
Although, you really didn't have to read the table because if you read B, then you're like, well, I know it's not that. So the only one that has Beckhofer than Taylor is C. It has to be C. Oh, that's lazy of me. Okay, number 2. Very quiet.
Can I just like, look at the answer and say why it's right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna do that as well. And if I got it right, I'm holding up this board. It's not right. I'm not right. That's weird. Oh,
Say,
Oh, because it's random.
because
so
it's random.
It's still, I literally just said that.
dang.
So it's still just as likely.
Yeah. I'm just gonna write the letter D on my board to appease my soul.
Sure, sure.
Right? With confidence.
Mhm.
Say it again.
Mhm.
You didn't respond.
No, I agree.
Okay.
No, I just get so annoyed with, and it's just all the questions start the same way. If we use another list of random, just select the sample, blah. Interesting. Number 3. So much shorter. You can definitely do that.
Elephant.
What?
You don't have
Okay. Does our symbol, our random digit table have to have just ones and zeros? So, and do they have to have, this is not binary, do you have to have a certain number of ones and zeros? No.
Because it's random.
And so, and it's random, so is there necessarily the same number of ones and zeros? No. Exactly one, for sure you're going to have a 0, 0 somewhere on there?
So it's
No.
E.
So the only one is E. None of these are true. That's why Lewis said elephant.
At least we have 11 points.
Louis
Yaga.
Garcia.
Yep.
Garcia.
That is his name.
Lewis.
Louis Garcia.
Okay, number 4. Ooh, yes, number 4.
My dad hates Ohio, and I don't know why. He just hates everyone who comes from there.
Do you have an issue with like Ohio State? Is he a big Bama fan?
No, we're actually Auburn fans, but
Then I don't know how
what
to
he
help
has
you.
against Ohio. I don't know if he even personally knows anyone from Ohio. He just doesn't like it.
It's prejudice against one specific state for no reason.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
don't know.
That's rough. With his job reference.
Number 4 is a terrible sample,
No one
Ohio.
disagrees.
and also because it's public opinion,
It's
and
in
it's only
Ohio.
for registered voters.
I understand. I don't disagree.
I mean, as opposed to what? Those are the
people who are actually
those are the
voting.
people who are gonna vote. That's
No one
the
else can
basic-
vote.
Those are the people who
Why would
yeah.
you want people who can't vote? It's opinion.
How would you want some 4-year-old's opinion?
It's like when you take a poll in the high school of like who
I'm
you
gonna
would
say
vote for, and like
banana.
you can't vote. So
Why?
Because there's different counties, and there's a random sample of people from each county.
And it is technically B. What would be bad is if you chose
D,
D.
as in simple random sample.
As in dog.
But since they specifically said they're taking, like he's saying, since they said some random sample from each county, that's why. Okay, if you do 5, ooh, we don't have that many left. 5, 6, 7, we'll call it a day. Do that fast. 5.
oh what? Okay.
4.
3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Ooh, this is good.
E.
So is it E?
Is it E?
Yes.
Ha! I
Yoga.
circled it too, Louis.
Yagla.
I would have said that.
I'm gonna do a plus 12.
And not gone so fast.
Well, you already have the answers, so you have to explain why it is that to get your
I
point.
see the answers right now.
Multiple different random selections.
And that would be multi-choice. Yay.
It's like 3 years plus.
Perfect. Did I not give y'all 6 and 7?
It's there. It's right there on the back.
That's nice on your back. Okay.
Semi-Balanus
Oh, here it is.
valnoids.
A marine biologist?
That's interesting.
Oh.
Barnacle.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like this one. This one's good.
I would say B.
You'd be correct. It is a cluster. Why?
Because he sorted them into clusters. He like measured off like the same distance, not same distance, the same like little area, and then he took the data from that into
Yeah.
little clusters, barnacle clusters.
She wins, and then 7, and we're call it a day. If you guess E, I'm going to beat you. I mean, I would never beat. You know what I mean. Can't actually beat anybody. Don't guess E. Underestimate, over, accurately. Really?
A. Is an apple.
Apple.
I would say I would say C.
As in cabbage. Neither.
B.
No, the answer is B.
So it is E.
It's B.
Right.
Why is it B?
Well, they
Oh, I
designed
see,
the
I see.
sample correctly, it's just a non-response bias, because it's opinionated.
No, I was thinking, I thought it was saying that should,
I'm gonna do real quick.
So if you were to look back at our notes, we had a section on sampling error and non-sampling error. Did we do something wrong, or did someone not respond and like we're going to pin it on them?
Yeah.
Which again, didn't we design it? Shouldn't we have anticipated that? Probably. But since it was they did it, technically it was non-sampling error.
sampling error though?
I do, but technically the book sees it as non-sampling error. It's not your fault they didn't do their job, but at the same time, I'm accountable for my results, so I could have designed it differently. Okay, moving on. You can put all that away. If I were you, I'd do the rest of them to stay up on your multiple choice. As you can see, this should be your chance to get a perfect score on the multiple